Hey, hey, y'all! It's another episode of Barbershop Love Stories, Cuts and Conversations, where we're dealing with the singles edition. My name is Lena West, and today my very special guest is
Howard.
Howard.
Do I need to give my last name too?
No, you don't need all that.
All right.
You don't need
Good.
all that.
Good.
People be looking for
I know.
stuff.
I might owe some people some money.
That right there. So tell me about yourself.
Well, I've been living in Atlanta for, it's coming on 8 years now.
Okay.
Me and Miss Lena have met through the barbershop world.
You did. I was getting my mustache trimmed up a little bit. It's off now. It's off now. Mm-hmm.
Ironically, where we're from, you're from Kansas and I'm from Nebraska originally.
Midwest.
And it was just like, whoa, that our two states border each other, our home states. So born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, have family that have been coming or live in Atlanta, and we've been traveling back and forth to Atlanta for the past, let's say about 30 years. My sister went to Clark Atlanta University after she graduated high school, and my cousin, which is basically like her very close cousin, went to Morris Brown. And so they went to school together back in the late 90s. And so we've been visiting
Freaknik,
forever. Huh? Oh my gosh. I think that Freaknik started with their class. So
the Midwesterners.
Yeah. You shelter the child, and then when they get away, then, things change. But so anyway, we have been frequenting Atlanta for on and off for the past 30 years and getting familiar with things, and things have changed. Life has changed as it would normally change anyway, and you've seen different cultures. But going from living in the Midwest to visiting Atlanta, you see a lot of different culture and a lot of change, and it's just like a lot of times it's like a culture shock because you see so much that you don't see in a small town. So it was just like basically coming home, back in the 90s. So it was an awesome experience to come and visit my sister. And then back then, we grew up on the Cosby Show, Different World, School Days. So that would motivate us to want to go to school. But then not only that, when you see my sister and my cousin went to HBCUs, it would motivate us even more. Like, wow, not only going to college would be a goal, but then also wanting to at least be around your people and experience that same feeling of accomplishment and achievement to learn more outside of high school. So there was always an encouragement to see them and come and visit them in the dorms and when they come home and things like that, and hear her story about college life and all that stuff. So
well, let's touch on that. So being from the Midwest, would you say there's a huge difference between dating or the women down there and the women here?
I would say, back from my experience, there definitely was, because the biggest thing was that you would see a lot more of your own ethnicity, which is, if you prefer to date within your ethnicity, which most people do, then of course it's like, oh my gosh, this is like a whole lot more. And then, and then being like kind of going through the campuses, being on Clark Atlanta's campus, being on Morris Brown's campus, and then seeing the Spelman and Morehouse back then, it's like, oh my gosh. And you see different
chocolate
people.
Heaven.
Oh my gosh, for me it was like
a rainbow of chocolate different colors that you could choose from. Who knew?
So when my sister went to school, I was basically in the what are they called now? What is it called? We used to call it junior high. They call it middle school. So
because junior high is 9 through the 12.
Yeah.
Middle is 6, 7, 8.
It should be 6, 7, 8. It was 7, 8 for me, but I thought that typically middle school was like 5th through 8th in some schools. But for us, it was 7th, 8th. But I was tall for my age. So I would come, oh my God, yeah. That was a
extra
huge.
Large.
So when I came down, even though I looked young in the face, I was still tall. So they probably thought that I was like I would try to blend in when I came down to the campus. So, hey, how you doing? You need some help with your books? That crinkly voice,
Right. So. just went through puberty. So it's, hi, hello.
Hello.
Right.
So it was an experience for me, just like, oh my gosh, just kind of seeing this experience in different people from all over.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I hadn't really been anywhere else besides really Atlanta, you know, like Kansas City, because we have family in Kansas City as well. But as far as like HBCUs being around that large population of Black people, I mean, I've never been still haven't been to DC yet, but I hadn't been anywhere else like Houston or any other places where they had a large population of Blacks,
Mm-hmm.
and for a common reason too. So it was just like, wow, there's life outside of the Midwest. There's life outside of a lot of like maybe two other cultures, you know. So it was just like, wow. Or seeing the majority culture up in the Midwest as opposed to, you know, anywhere else. So yeah, it was a great experience for me. And so I had decided to, after years of kind of, and I'm sure we're going to touch on it, but kind of, you know, uh, being a family man, father, and all that, and raising kids, I decided to move down to Atlanta after both my best friends had moved here back in 2017. So, and Atlanta's home now. So
excellent. Yeah. Now the Midwest, I don't know about Nebraska, but I feel like Kansas, there was a heavy like marriage culture. So like, you know, it's the Bible Belt, and like the expectation is for marriage. Yeah. And I mean, I got married super young. Yeah. I don't know how old you were when you got married.
I was 25 when I first got married.
Okay.
So marriage is like a big deal with my family. So when I had a kind of a crazy my dating situation has been a little crazy. So I dated one of my second ex. I have two exes. So I dated my second ex in high school. She was like my high school sweetheart. So we dated on and off for 6 years. We finally broke up. And then when we broke up, I met my first ex, my first wife. It was probably a little bit over a year after we broke up. And so, you know, messing around. And
what does that mean?
Well, I had twins. And then he dropped off like, I don't know how it happened.
Dropped them from the sky.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were playing hopscotch and stuff. I decided that because I knew that my parents got married after they discovered that my mom was pregnant with me, then to me, it was the best thing to do was to, you know, basically become a family man and become a husband and make, you know, Brandon's a wife at that time. We were just, you know, everybody says you're young and dumb and do stupid things, but it's like, well, you're trying to do the right thing even though you're still immature and you're still learning things. So at that time, I wanted to do the right thing, what I felt was the right thing. And so my family was like, well, you don't really have to marry if you guys aren't ready. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, you know, when are you ever really married? Ready for
yeah.
I mean, you just either you do it and you learn, because love is just not something that happens. It's something that you build up to. It's not just something like, oh, I love that person, I'm just gonna get married. Well, you haven't really been through anything to know what you love, what you love about that person. If you really love them, you have to kind of build up to that. Yeah, we got married. It was like a shotgun, what they call shotgun marriage and all that stuff, or wedding, and it didn't last very long, unfortunately. So I had
like under 5 years.
It was under 5 years. Yeah, it was probably 2.5 years. Wow. She decided that it was just not working, and we were having some issues, but it was just like it just wasn't working. And I think she was influenced to divorce me, but I think that what the biggest factor was that we did rush into things, and I think that as much as she tried, it was pretty tough. There were some challenges in our relationship, financial, emotional. You know, sometimes it's just not what you really want, and you figure, well, if the system makes it easier for you to just say, yeah, you know, I could still get benefits, but I don't have to go through the duties of trying to be married, then, you know, hey, why not? And I can't necessarily fault her completely for that. It's just either marriage is not for everybody. It's something that you really have to want. And if you try, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world either. So I want to be married. I actually do want to be married. But I want to be married in the right setting. I want to be right for her, and I want her to be right for me. I don't want it to just be something that we're just going to try, you know?
Yeah, and see what happens.
Yeah. So after that, then, you know, a few years later, I had, it was several years later, actually, I had met up with my high school sweetheart. And then, you know, we dated for a little bit, and then it was the same thing. We decided to go ahead and get married. few people were in the family were kind of like, don't think so. And we
So
tried
they didn't
anyway.
see it as Ashanti and Nelly. They were just like, no.
Yeah, they said no. Yeah, they
Negative.
didn't see any of that Ashanti Nelly stuff at all. And I wish that it would have been like that, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing happened with us. We were married, so both my marriages, I wasn't able to meet that 3-year mark.
Okay.
And then so it was pretty much same thing for the most part. But then I had to start looking, like soul searching
Mm-hmm.
into me to say, okay, is it something that you're not accepting about yourself, where you keep creating the same issue, same problem? Are you fixing whatever that issue is? Because relationships are reflective. So you have to kind of look at, okay, well, whether they are successful or they're not, there's some part that you play in it. And it's like, well, what part did I play in that? And to me, with me being the man and asking for their hand in marriage, there's a few factors where I have to be right within myself to know that, well, if you provide access to the relationship, or to, if a relationship exists or happens, then you have to start asking yourself, well, what is it that you're doing or not doing to vet right, or to prepare yourself for what you're asking for, because you have to know what you're kind of getting into before you do it.
Right. Now, those relationships, those were in your 20s, though, right?
They were. They actually were.
The story with her.
So the story with her was, we were messing around on and off for a little bit, and she would always tell me that she thought that I didn't really like her because she likes a lot of attention. This was her way of kind of BSing me, more or less.
Okay.
At least I thought it was, because it's like, if you had interest in me, then you would call me just as much as I would call you. But I guess that she likes, she had some work done on her body, that's, but it's still like, yeah, age is going to catch up to you, sweetheart, because that stuff will drop like Vivica Fox. Anyway, so she had, in between one of our, I guess, breaks or whatever, she was messing around with a guy, and supposedly he's some type of comedian or something like that. And so she had found out that this dude, for whatever reason, I don't know how she found out, but she found out that he was messing with multiple women at the same time.
Oh, of course. He's a comedian.
He's a comedian. So
he's like a musician, church musician.
Yeah, exactly.
Access.
Well, I used to be a drummer, so don't go there. Okay. I'm not a drummer right now, but anyway.
Moving on.
So one time she had me come with her to a bar that they frequent. It was the bar that used to be the $3 cafe off of Sugarloaf. Remember that whatever that place is now, that's where we went. And so she knew that he was going to be there at a particular time. She wanted me to go with her to that place because she knew he was going to be there. So I was almost like, what do they call, collateral damage, so to speak, or whatever. I was caught in between whatever their mess was. And so we sitting there, and I could tell that the dude was getting upset with her, me being there with her. And I'm like, he didn't say nothing to me. I mean, who gonna say something to me? I'm 6'2", 240. Nobody's gonna really say anything.
I would.
You would. Excuse me, sir. So I'm like, I'm feeling like a fool, because I'm like, why are we sitting here? And I think I paid for that date. I paid for us to have a couple of drinks, and we supposed to be watching the game. I'm like trying to focus on the game. She's simply like, see, I can tell he getting upset. Look at him. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know him. He don't know me. So what difference does it make? And you're using me for this. You're using me to show him that, dudes will have sex with a hole in the floor. So who cares? They don't care nothing about, you could pick up another guy. You have all the assets. So of course you're going to grab attention like that. And plus you're using me. So I'm ready to go.
I would be too.
Yeah. So yeah, I was ready to go. I think we went to Papa Do's and ate. And then we went back to her place, and then there was just like really nothing going on. So she was kind of caught in this relationship with this guy, and it was not anything going anywhere. She broke it off with him, but it's almost like she didn't want to. Like, she still wanted to still be with him. I just basically ghosted her, because I'm not going to continue to take you out and you trying to get back at him. And I'm not. What am I
paid to be used?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I should have, like, instead of that on and off, I should have just cut it off and not had hit her back. But I did finally ghost her. And then she tried to message me like, "Hey, what happened?" Blah blah blah.
Was she trying to hit you up on AOL?
Yeah, Black Planet. She had to try to hit me up on Black Planet.
Because she sure was blocked.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she knew that she knew she was blocked, and I had to block her email because we did insurance because I do insurance too, and she ironically did insurance. So when I met her. I didn't meet her through anything. I met her when I saw her going to my tailor. I was like, oh my gosh, who was that? And then we just hit it off, and she was like, and I found her on LinkedIn, and I had hit her up on LinkedIn. So a lot of the many of the ladies that I've met, it was LinkedIn. Not on LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn.
And I tell people that too.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I've messed with another gal off LinkedIn when I got here.
Seems to be a thing.
Yeah, yeah. She was from Costa Rica. Yeah. So just most of the ladies that I've met have been off of either LinkedIn or I just met them like they probably hit me up on Instagram, or I saw them just out and about, maybe the gym, but out and about. That's been it. I've only met a few on dating sites here. So I had to think about that like, wow, I've met more in a smaller town on a dating site than I have here in Atlanta. But it's a bigger city. So it's easier to kind of just see people in and out and, say something to them. But, I have this resting me mug face now.
Yeah,
so,
resting doo-doo face.
Doo-doo face that I don't really, this is me. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a very nice guy in person.
You would never know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. So this one I had met off of a dating site. This is why I don't like dating sites. So I had met her on the dating site. I can't remember which one. It don't matter. But she had said that there was this place that she hadn't went to. And there's been a couple of these where, they had this place that I heard about. My girlfriends told me about it. I would love to go. I'm like, okay. And me being, I don't go everywhere. I haven't gone everywhere. And so to me, it's kind of like, I know a lot of guys would probably be like, oh, no, I'm not going there. I'm going to go where I want to go. Well, for me, it's an experience because I haven't been there. And I don't know much about it. I don't go everywhere in Atlanta. I really don't care to. I mean, So anyway, she wanted to go. We met there, we had a good time and everything. And she seemed like she was just kind of okay, but she just was kind of socially awkward. Not too standoffish. She was fairly nice. I think she was nice enough to conversate with for the date. Okay. So then after the date, I mean, that date wasn't cheap. Let's just say it that way. It wasn't cheap, guys. And I mean cheap, meaning it was a couple $100, not cheap. So after that, I'm a jokester. And I probably shouldn't have joked, but I've been, okay, whatever. But I was kind of just feeling like being myself. So I had sent her a text message that night saying, I had a great time with you. The next time is on you.
So he said that's in Atlanta.
And I said, ha, ha, ha.
Don't matter.
So she didn't take the joke. I'm not telling you guys everything that I said in it, but it wasn't anything fat. It wasn't a long message. Just a quick message where I thought that I was being funny. I guess I wasn't being funny, guys. So she fired back and said, hey, listen, I haven't dated in a while, and I don't know if this is how the dating scene is, but I don't do that, and blah, blah, blah. So if you have a problem with going out on dates with me, this, that, and the other, then you might as well just lose my number. And she blocked me on Instagram, blocked my phone numbers. It was over with.
So you didn't even get a chance to respond like, hey, I was just joking. I was just kidding.
And I actually was trying to, I'm sorry. I was actually really seriously joking, but it didn't go through. So
then you mailed her a letter.
I did. Return to sender. And don't call me anymore either.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the third time I sent a pigeon and a stork, and then it still came back. So like, okay.
Hey, you did what you could.
I was gonna send a crow, but I just said no. That's probably overkill. So I get the hint.
Okay, well that's fair. Wow.
Yeah.
You've lived quite a life.
Yeah.
Quite a life.
I learned my lesson. I'm living and learning. So yeah, those experiences kind of make you just draw back a little bit. Like you got to watch what you say and how you say things.
True. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit of dating disasters with Howard.
The one and only. You won't get my last name.
No, you don't want that. All right. Well, y'all have a good day. Bye.
Bye.